All right, welcome back. This is a continuation of Chapter 5 for your print reading class. I kind of wanted to break these two units, this unit into two sections. We talked about the 6 primary views earlier in the previous chapter or in the previous video. For this unit, we're going to go over what they call auxiliary views and section views. We're going to start out with an auxiliary view first. So as you can see, the view that we have here is the front view, and we also have a right side view. We don't have a top view. This right here is what you're seeing is called an auxiliary view. Follow along right with your book. This is a picture right out of your book itself. So auxiliary view, you see we have this angled part. It's bringing it up and it's showing you that angled part. What it is doing is giving you the true shape and size of that angled part. So as you can see, the auxiliary view is always going to be 90 degrees off of what it's going to be detailing. So for example, right now it's kind of hard to detail what that is and the actual size and shape, because if we went and measured it over here, because it's at an angle, it's not going to be the same height. If we measure it here, it's not going to be the same height. So auxiliary view's primary thing is to show you the true shape and size of what it wants to detail. They always come off at a 90-degree angle, as you can see in your book, 90 degrees up from here, and then it's showing you that detailed view with the true size and the shape of that object. Now, they're not going to say detail, this is auxiliary view, so there's nothing that's going to tell you that that is an auxiliary view. You got to understand that that is an auxiliary view of this top part of that object. Now, keep in mind, front view, right view, that is an auxiliary view. That is not a top view. If that was a top view from our previous lecture, that should come up straight like that, and it should show you the view. That's why this is an auxiliary view. It comes off at a 90-degree angle, showing you the true size and shape. Very important that when you see this on a print that you understand that is an auxiliary view. Next, we're going to go over, I'm going to turn the page here, bear with me. We're going to go over what they call section views. Section views can be complicated. Get this turning the right way. So, section views. First and foremost, we have to have a cutting plane line. From the alphabet, the lines, we understand that this is a cutting plane line. So what is going on? With the section view, basically, the good way to explain it, let's say we take this piece of pipe or coupling or whatever it may be, we take that, we cut it with the saw, then we rotate it, and that's what we're going to see. So the section view, basically, what they're doing is they're cutting it right here, removing this side, because the arrows of that cutting plane line are pointing that way, they're turning that object, and that's what you see. So you're cutting plane line, you're going to cut that. This part right here is removed. They take this part and they're rotating it. So kind of an example would be, we're looking at this bottle, for example. Let's say we're looking at the bottle this way. We put a cutting plane line right through that bottle. Right? We're basically going to cut that part whatever way the lines are, and we're going to rotate it. That's what we've done here. Section views, this is what they call a full section view, because the cutting plane line goes directly right through the whole object, and it's in a straight line. So just keep in mind that cutting plane line, these arrows are going to represent what direction that you're going to view that object. So we're cutting it right here, we're removing this part, taking this part, and rotating and viewing. The main reason we have section views, because a lot of times on the inside, there's a lot of detail that you cannot replicate on a certain view. So a section view is showing you internal detail that you're going to need when you're actually trying to read that prep. This here is actually a bushing. Like I said, I can't explain it enough. Now, also when you get into section views, they may have two letters right here, because you might have more than one or two section views on a print. So they might have AA, and then right underneath it they'll have section view AA. So that'll tell you exactly where that section view actually came from. When we get further on in our course, there's towards the end there, I think there's a print that it has like over 25 section views on it. So understanding AA, you go to section view AA to see the detail. Now that's a full section. There's a lot of different types of section views on here. It goes through a lot of them. The full, and probably this is what they call a half section. Excuse me, let me get it lined up on here. So that was a full section. Now we're actually going to view what they call a half section. Same principle applies. So right now, our cutting plane line is going down and to the left, because this line's dotted. You notice these two are solid. These two lines, the one going to the right and the one going down, this is an example right out of your book. Same object, it's a bushing. So these two lines here are solid. That means it's not being removed. These two lines, the one going vertical and the one going to the left, are dotted. So that's where that part is actually getting cut. The arrow is telling us how we're going to view that. So as you see here, basically what they did is they removed half of it, and that's what you're going to view it. So they removed this little quarter of a piece. We're going to view it in that direction. So then it's rotated here, and all we're going to see is this top half, this edge right here. That's a half section. Now the book goes into revolved, offset, multiple different section views, types of section views. Go through the book. Once you get the principle of the section view down and following your cutting plane line, they all pretty much follow suit. The full and the half are going to probably see the most in industry. Typically a full sections view is basically what you'll probably see most often, probably 80 to 90% of the time. I did want to show you an example of an offset section view. And that is located, let me clear up. There we go. So this right here is an example of offset section view. You notice that the offset, that line does not go straight through that object. It actually has a little crook in it and it comes down. Same principle applies. So anything to the left here from that cutting plane line, here and here is being removed. Arrows are pointing in this direction. So that's how we're going to view it. So this half right here is removed. You're going to take that object, rotate it, and view that side. So every section view is being rotated in the direction of the arrows. This part's being removed, and we're going to view it in that direction, and that's what you're going to see. As you can tell now, you have a lot more detail, like that center hole. For example, you can tell that it's slotted in different areas, different diameters in different areas. It shows us a lot of detail that we could not get in that view. So, as you go to the top half example, going to bear me here. So here's an example of where there's more than one section view on a print. You'll notice they're all full sections. It's labeled AA. So here's our section view AA. That right there is depicting this side was cut off, it was rotated, and that's what we're going to see. Same here. BB. Here's our cutting plane line. This whole section was removed, and then that was rotated to see that side. Same as CC, a cutting plane line was right here. So right here there was some detail that we needed to see inside. It's cut, this whole part was removed, This section right here was rotated, and that's what you're going to see for section CC. Now in this learning plan, I have a couple other learning activities in there. Make sure you view all those learning activities. There's a couple that you can actually click on. It'll actually cut it for you, rotate it, and show you the section view. Make sure you use all the resources that are given to you in that learning plan. It'll definitely help you with section views. I can't stress it enough. Usually section views always throw students for a loop. But go ahead and read the rest of the book. The chapter, it should be kind of self-explanatory. But the main thing on this I wanted to highlight out of chapter 5 was the different types of views, the 6 principal views, and then highlight a lot on section views, because you are going to see a pile of section views when you get into industry. Keep in mind, follow that cutting plane line, remove it, follow the arrows, because that's telling you the direction that you're going to be viewing. So for example, we're viewing this part right here, right on that section, cutting plane line. Like I said, follow your learning plan, go through all the exercises in that learning plan for this chapter, and just follow this chapter, get to the end of the chapter, do the review questions. If you have questions for the instructor, feel free to ask. We're going to be here. We want to help you, make sure that you understand this as you go through it. So yeah, section views.